Hey everyone, this is Flick King Gamer. Welcome back to Let's Play No Straight Roads. In the last part, we finished up Eve's boss fight as Zook was able to calm her down and basically told her something rather new that's not really been said before. Like how constant in anime on how people say, you'll find somebody else, just not with me. But with Zook, he basically tells Eve, you don't need anybody to complete yourself. It's only you. Okay, what the hell is happening now? Okay, that freaked me out for a bit. I was like, oh yeah. So yeah, basically, Zook tells Eve that you complete yourself, rather than saying you'll find somebody else. So, thankfully, we were able to get that. Also in the last part, we had our last ZAM FM radio, where Tatiana basically hijacked the radio and was watching us the whole time. Excuse me. Oh, and off screen, I was able to find everything in the district for Eve, and basically unlocked the rock boss theme track. I also checked out the Ellie helicopter thing. Like, just as I thought, it's basically a shortcut to all the districts, so that's how I was able to get here so fast. I basically I was able to call upon it and basically get it all the way here rather than run from the beginning to the end. And speaking of the end, we've pretty much reached the final. Since we've now gotten all the districts, we can now head to NSR Tower to face off against Tatiana. Alright. So, yeah. So, since we had all that build up, obviously we need to check out for some.
Instruments are essential to a musician. I've always in fact, I have so many at home to consider for different situations.
Alright, that didn't tell me anything. Well, there's a stock of mini quazzes back here, but what's the point? Oh yeah, and I also found out last part that the mini quazzes didn't disappear. Oh yeah, and also to get the items from both Eve and Tatiana, our level has to be level 3, which we do not have. I tried to do Yinu's boss fight off screen, but I ended up losing, and I would have retried, but it was like way late into the night, and I was too tired to do a second do-over. So let's just go over here. Okay, now this is level 3 as well. Alright, so that's pretty much, Woo!
Isn't Vinyl City beautiful?
That's it? Okay, that was right. Okay, we wasted enough time. It's time to head on inside and face off against Tatiana. I'm not sure how long this is gonna take, but what's a little bit unique is that we're just jumping straight into the boss fight like we did with DJ Subatomic Supernova.
People of Vinyl City, this is Tatiana. You've all been brainwashed by these so-called music revolutionists. All they've done is promote uncertainty among us, which has resulted in huge congestions in the junctions of progress. In other words, they've left us with nothing but chaos. And with chaos comes destruction. Look around you. See all the districts these robbers have invaded. And now, they're using you to start an uprising at NSR Tower in order to pressure me to step down. But I will not do so. Because despite the darkness that has enveloped this city, I still see hope. A hope for us to return to greatness. I believe that deep down, this is what we all want for our city. Thus, I stand before you to ask for one final request. You still still have the power to rectify this anarchy, reinstate the NSR artists, and bring back true democracy. In the meantime, for the good of the city, I will hold my ground, and I urge you to trust in my judgment. Together, we will restore order. Order leads to progress in Vinyl City. That is all. Have a pleasant evening.
Okay, well, that's a lot to take in. Okay. Alright, before we advance forward, I just want to point out a couple things during Tatiana's speech. Well, firstly, well, it's not about the speech itself, because when you go to the other districts before you face the other NSR artists after DJ Subatomic Supernova, Tatiana is supposed to make an endless loop of Beseech play in every district for all the other bosses from Sayu to Eve, yet it seems I have not heard her speak through any of that until now, when I have heard it in other gameplay footage. So again, it might be because I may have to update the game to the latest version of it, so it might be my copy, but the fact that I'm unable to connect my PS4 to the Wi-Fi here, that could prove to be a problem. Also, secondly, the whole reason now it's on to Tatiana's speech herself, because the thing is, she kind of started this when she outright banned rock, so that's kind of one thing to lay on. And also, the citizens that didn't really have electricity, it's kind of a mixed bag, but once we start facing off against Tatiana, I'll explain more in a bit.
I can't believe someone like you two are able to be my artist.
It's over, Tatiana. Step down from the throne.
Never. The way you kids influenced the votes was deplorable.
I don't give a frickin' cupcake about what you think.
You have set a bad precedent for how the politics in the city will function from here on out, through chaos.
Yeah? And what's so bad about that?
Short-sighted as usual, I see. Because of you, any future opposing parties can just start a riot if things don't go their way. How are we to build a progressive city if it's in constant disorder?
You started it. You banned us rockers from performing.
I only restricted rock after you misbehaved at the audition. The fault is on you.
That's not fair.
You tricked the people into voting for you by instigating their hatred towards us. Tell me if that's fair.
They voted for us because your energy output is crappy. The people have had it with the blackouts.
There you go again. So zealous about being able to supply more energy than us. Where in the world did you get that notion? From your rear end?
Hey, we beaten your artists. Surely that means something.
It means you have no clue how this city works. You didn't compete with my artists on a level playing field. You merely set up a circus act by hijacking their concerts. It swayed public opinion, all right, but it was all flash. In truth, your music revolution agenda is nothing more than an act of impulse. Tell me, how do you intend to run the city if you win? What about the hundreds of NSR employees who'll be thrown out of work? Have you considered the inevitable insurgents from the people who still genuinely love EDM? Can you really run the city under those circumstances?
Well, I'm sure we'll figure something out after...
Forget it. This is going nowhere. I'm just gonna finish you off right now.
Whoa, wait.
And we just get into the boss fight right here.
And progress to the city.
Yeah, this is honestly why I kind of wanted to talk about this, because honestly, about this whole issue, I'm kind of in the middle on this. Because I can understand Mayday and her point of view, but I also understand Tatiana and her point of view. So, the thing is, I'm just kind of in the middle. Because we really don't know what the future of the city will be if we do win. And
you have no chance against me, for I have time on my side.
When was that ever a factor, Tatiana? So, yeah, as you can tell, the first...
Democracy in NSR only favors EDM.
It's the people who favor EDM, until you ruin everything.
If chaos is what is needed to get things done here, so be it.
You fail to see how much the city has improved since NSR took over.
And to be fair, she's kind of right in a sense. Okay, where... There it is. Because, yeah, believe me, I'm not a huge fan of EDM, and there are a lot of people I've known that genuinely do enjoy it. I don't understand why, but the thing is, lashing out is not really going to solve anything. And honestly, I don't want to bring politics into this Let's Play, especially since it's mostly a game about music, but the thing is, this honestly I think kind of relates back to what happened on January 6th at DC. Hey. The way that the Trump supporters acted, it's honestly sort of the same thing that happened with May Day and Zook. In other words, people can just start a riot when people just don't do what they... Well, and things don't go out their way. Oh my god, don't tell me. I think the game just locked up. Yeah, the game just locked up. I was afraid of this. Okay, that's probably another thing I should probably mention about the Tatiana fight, is that it has a tendency to lock up. And because of that, yeah, because I remember from the Defossilizers video, basically, if the fight happens to lock up, then you have to go through that whole speech in the elevator all over again. I honestly don't know what to do. I was afraid of something like this, and I feel like I'm not going to be able to get to this ending in one part. I guess maybe while I reset everything, I'm just going to pause and just take it, because I do have to explain how the fight works, and I also want to explain the points of view then. Because the Green Scorpion also touched upon this whole subject in his video, but basically the way that Mayday and Zook are treating the NSR artists is that, yeah, it's bad, and we are upset that, you know, NSR is keeping electricity from majority of the public and not the exclusives. But the thing is that Mayday Mayday especially really doesn't take the constructive criticism well. Like she basically just lashes out. Like, she doesn't really handle it in more of a constructive manner, really. She basically lashes out, and this honestly sort of traces back to the Yinu fight, where we basically haven't done anything to the NSR artists. Like, the worst thing they did was, basically judge us on how good or bad we did. That's basically kind of the gist of what happens. And yeah, well, I personally don't really care about the politics of the game, since it's really late into the game and we don't really know much about the background of Vinyl City, so I personally wouldn't give a rat's ass. But honestly, as Tatiana constantly mentions order, though, like I said, in my copy of the game, there's not one mention of it, but again, that's just my copy. This is honestly, like I said, this sort of relates back to what happened at DC. Where basically, people can basically just start a riot if something doesn't go their way. Hey, that's especially what happened in DC, but, yeah, I think I already made the point, but the point still stands. Basically, the thing is that with Mayday and Zook, well, it's mostly Mayday, but the point is that since Mayday is just lashing out, she's not really taking anything in a constructive manner, and she's not really thinking. And like Tatiana points out, she doesn't really have a plan of what happens if she does win. And especially for the people that will still generally love EDM, because sad reality is that in the real world, pop and EDM are basically the backbone of today's music. And while rock is still technically still around, it's honestly pushed into the back burner. A lot of artists I've seen use pop, EDM. It's still the majority of music that's basically, again, the backbone of what goes on today's music. That's because it is today's music, and while rock is still around, a lot of people really don't relatively seem to care here. So like I said, as far as the issue goes on the climax, as far as the point of views of Mayday and Zooks, and I mean, I kind of see, from watching the Green Scorpions video, when he points all this out, I kind of see that he's sort of on the Tatiana field. As for me, I'm really just kind of in the middle. Like I said, I can understand Tatiana and her point of view, but I also understand Mayday and her point of view. So I'm just caught in like a net in the middle, like I'm caught where, and to be perfectly honest, this is actually a perfect example of how both sides are to blame. Where both Tatiana and Mayday are right in aspects, but they're both wrong in aspects. That's in terms of their ideals. They're both flawed, they're both short-sighted, and they don't really change much of how they feel. So these ideals both clash in a way. So, come on, can I? Alright, so I think we're back where we left off, and I was afraid that this was going to happen, but let's see. Let's go through round 2, and let's see if we can do this. Because now I can really explain the boss with Tatiana. So the thing is that with Tatiana, you don't really attack her. You have to go and attack this slow-moving thing and get it to move.
You have no chance against me, for I have time on my side.
And of course, it's this part that I can't skip. Alright, so what will happen is that Tatiana will throw fireballs. It's supposed to be all of them. I don't know why those 3 are just chilling in the background over there.
You fail to see how much this city has improved since Emerson took over. Your rope ends here.
Oh yeah, I should probably mention... Okay, I probably should have mentioned it, but Tatiana's attacks do a crap load of damage, so... She is the final boss, so it should be expected, but now my lifeline's already been used, and... Okay, yeah, that's what I was afraid of. Please don't tell me we're gonna start over all the way from the frickin' elevator thing. I mean, the good thing is that at least the game didn't lock up, but I didn't get to that point, but I'm a little bit antsy. You son of a bitch! So okay, now I get what the defossilizer was talking about. And and I think I probably already shown this and I mentioned it, but the whole thing in the elevator, you can't skip it. So this isn't really like the case with the Eve fight where you just basically go back to the first phase and skip the cutscene. No, here, if you either lose the fight or because the game can't run properly and locks up or crashes, you have to go back into the elevator, listen to Tatiana's whole monologue again, and start the whole fight all over again. Ugh, this is exactly what I was afraid of. And I can now kind of understand what the defossilizer was talking about. And oh my god, I've really screwed. Well, to be fair, the second part was my end, and I mean, it is the final boss, so I shouldn't be as upset, because this isn't in cheap like Jasper Bat Jr., because I was listening to the music relatively well, so, And like I said, I do not think I'm going to get through this entire finale tonight. There's just no way unless I decide to stay up late. I mean, it's only 9:38 as of the time of this recording, but the thing is, the pace that I've been going, there's no way I'm getting through this. Okay, take 3. Alright. Attempt number 3.
I brought order and progress to the city.
And the sad thing is that unlike with Eve's fight, I've only gotten up to the first phase.
Has improved teams. All thanks to my vision. You have no chance against me, for I have time on my side.
Okay, so this time I really got to pay attention because I ended up screwing myself over last time.
Democracy in NSR only favors idiots.
Oh, okay, so it's not really a glitch.
Until you ruin everything.
If chaos is what is needed to get things done here, so be it.
You fail to see how much the city has improved since MSR took over.
Damn. One thing I really do like about the scenery is basically the glass murals of all the NSR artists in the background. Okay, well the good news is the first phase didn't lock up this time. So that's what was supposed to happen. We're supposed to press the R button, well, right bumper to send the key flying. That's what was supposed to happen. So hopefully, if the remainder of the boss doesn't lock up, I think I can get through this remainder of the boss fights. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.